Wells Radio 89.3 FM, broadcasting from Ibadan or your state, brings you wholesome programs for you and your family. All right, studio time check. It's 32 minutes past 6 a.m. Today, the 9th day in the 10th month of October 2025. A wonderful Thursday morning to be alive. Good morning to you, dear listener. Thank you for tuning to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of all your states. Good morning, Ibadan. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, the world. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola, and this is Wells Radio 89.3 FM. We're broadcasting live from our broadcasting house along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. That's where we're broadcasting from at the moment. I'll start off by saying that I'd like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and the YouTube channel for our television. Now, the Wells Media Group has a TV, and if you go on YouTube and you search Wells Television, you'll find us. I'd like you to subscribe and click on the notification bell. We have wonderful, wholesome programs in video format for you over there. Now, right here on Facebook, like our Facebook page at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, and X at Wells Radio 893. You can also listen to, via our website anywhere in the world, from anywhere at all in the world. Just go to www.wellsradio893.com. Once you go to wellsradio893.com, just scroll down a bit and click the play button. You'll be able to listen to us. Now, if you just cannot remember the website, it's fine. We still have other radio directories where you can listen to us from. So just go to radiogarden.com or onlineradiobox.net. Or if you just can't remember any of them, just go on Google and search Wells Radio 89.3 FM listen. You'll be able to listen to us live. This morning we're live on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Kindly go and join us to see the faces behind the voices, to see the studio right now. And don't forget to like and share. Don't be stingy. Share that video to your friends as well. The program this morning is Perspectives Unlimited. We're taking a look at headlines and stories that are making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. We're looking at these headlines. We'll go beyond the news. We'll help you make sense of these stories this morning. So just stick with us as we go from now up until about 7:30. Will be here on Perspectives Unlimited. So the first thing we'll start with is taking a look at the headlines on the front pages of the different dailies this morning. And we'll start with the front page of the Punch newspaper, where the lead headline says, Presidency rejects World Bank's poverty report. Nigerians living in poverty rose from 115 million in 2023 to 139 million in 2025. That's what the World Bank said. Now, Presidency disputes data, defends reforms. World Bank urges action on inflation and poverty. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Nigeria lost $10 billion to Northeast conflicts. That's from the United Nations. You find that on page 7. Opposition slams governors as state's IGR soars by 50%. You find that on page 19. Christian killings. Federal government disagrees as Khan backs U.S. senator. That story is on page 7. Dangote refinery engineers on warpath over redeployment. That's on page 19 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Strike. Federal government, ASU in high-stakes talks. That's on page 12. Labour Party senators shrink to 4 as Chukwu joins APC. That's on page 7. Fraud. Interpol arrests wanted Nigerian in Argentina. That story is on page 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. In pictures, we can see the Vice President Kashim Shettima, former presidents Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, the Sultan of Sokoto Saad Abubakar, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Zulum, expatriates and other dignitaries at the inauguration of the newly completed Ahmadu Bello International Conference Center and at the Bauchi Investment Summit 2025. Picture was taken yesterday. They're unveiling, something. All right. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning, the lead headline says, Insecurity. Senate seeks permanent military base in Kwara South as Army steps up action to invite Minister of Defense, IGP. Over 142 kidnapped, 70 killed within 12 months, 25 communities deserted, Kwara South Senator says. Please deploy special squads in Ekiti boundary communities, or your PDP calls for effective border patrol of southwest states. That story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. More headlines. JAMB screens 176 underage candidates for admissions. That's on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. More headlines. Knocks for Tinubu APC over Naji. Tinubu should prosecute Naji, says Atiku. PDP seeks probe of more people in government. Inaugurates security subcommittee for Ibadan Convention. That story is on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Exposing children to e-waste pollution can cause hypertension, says experts. That's on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. More headlines on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Summits should translate to results, says Sultan. That's on page 16. 13-year-old boy killed in fresh Plateau attack. You find that on page 40. Residents kick as FCT Council resuscitates TV and radio tax. You find that on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. FIFA invests over $1 billion in African football. That's on page 55 of the Daily Trust. Police suspend tinted permit implementation. You find that on page 14 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Reps reject Christian genocide claim. That's on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. These and many more are some of the headlines we'll be taking a look at on Perspectives Unlimited this morning. Thank you once again for joining us. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola, and we'll have our analyst in the studio, Mr. Oduekun-Ayoola. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, madam.
How do you do?
How do you do?
All right. Let's start this way. There's this. Let's talk about the certificate scandal. I don't know if I should quite call it a scandal.
It is what it is.
So he's now former because he has tendered his resignation and the presidency has accepted it. The former Minister of Innovation and Science and Technology. Apparently, Premium Times released the results of the investigation that said that his university leaving certificate, was fake, same as his NYSC certificate. Now, the said former minister said, "No, these are my political enemies. They just want to ruin me." He specifically pointed at the governor of his state. And the governor said, "Carry your cross. Defend yourself or whatever. I'm not involved." Then the university went ahead to post to say, "We can confirm that this person was given admission, but we cannot find files to confirm that this person graduated." And obviously, in Nigeria that if you don't graduate in the first place, you can't even go for NYSC. The former minister did say that he's going to drag everybody to court. We haven't seen anything yet, but it's early days.
Yeah, it's come to court already.
I mean, they haven't started, so he can't say, tender which certificate, don't tender which certificate. We remember that this happened to Kemi Adeosun. Eventually, although it was revealed that it wasn't even her fault, apparently she applied for the exemption the official way. I read up on that, about yesterday or 2 days ago, that she actually applied, officially. The NYSC confirmed that she had applied officially for the exemption since she was 30 by the time she came back to Nigeria, and somehow got a fake certificate, which wasn't her fault. It got to the Supreme Court, apparently. But this takes us to the take a bow and go method that the House of Reps, they take a bow and go method that they employ when they're supposed to screen these ministers. Many people complained about this, to say, why do people come and then once they say they are this and that, you then say, oh, take a bow and go. Shouldn't it be more than that? And do you think that a comprehensive investigation should then be carried out on the remaining people?
Thank you very much, madam. Number one, I do not believe in the theory nor practice of bow and go. But these guys we are talking about didn't bow and go. Bow and go is extended to people who, number one, former legislators who have been appointed as ministers. Their peers feel like it's no point querying people that they shared the same seat together, or people who have, exemplified themselves in their respective fields. They'll just say bow and go. I can remember too, the late Bolanle, when he was appointed minister under Obasanjo, the Senate rose and gave him a very loud ovation that, "Baba, we know you. There's nothing we want to ask you, just bow and go." The same for the former chief of army staff, Lieutenant
No,
General.
those are the only people. I remember watching a particular, screening just not long ago, actually.
And the person
and
might,
a
the
lot
person
of people
might be a former
bow and
senator.
go. Oh, bow and go.
The person might be a former senator.
Okay.
They don't give it to anybody. People who have risen beyond, their peers or former legislators. Those are the people they do that to. For Bath in Naji, I am not going to blame the National Assembly here. I can only work based on what is before me. If you appointed a minister today, the very first thing to do is to go to the SSS for security screening.
Okay.
Once the SSS clears you, it is believed that anything and everything that you come with is genuine.
So no extra
No,
investigations.
the National Assembly is not supposed to do that extra investigation. That should have been the duty of the SSS. So it is the failure of the SSS that we should be talking about. Why and how did the SSS fail? This guy submitted his CV, his credentials, telling you that he went to the University of Nigeria and even graduated from the school, such that he was, drafted for NYS. The SSS failed Nigeria. That's that. The truth of the matter is that I cannot understand what made Bath.
No, let's leave it at Mr. Naji.
Mr. Energy to do exactly what he did. Because I do not support this, but the Supreme Court has told us that you don't have to go to school before you can hold any office in this country.
The school cert.
You don't even need a school cert. Yes. Just don't lie. The chairman of my country is a country of many contradictions. The chairman of the Tertiary Institutions Fund, TED Fund, Bello Masari, the former speaker, he didn't even get primary school. That is it. But the Supreme Court said that since he didn't lie and he can communicate, he can express himself in English, that's enough. So why did Inaji say he went to school when he knew too well that he didn't go to school, and he could have taken any appointment whatsoever or even elective office without necessarily presenting any certificate? I don't know. And that this takes me to a particular point. Around the time they were screening ministers, the SSS came out openly to say that a particular nominee then had not been screened, had not been cleared because the person couldn't pass security checks. Some of us knew then that it was politics. And I'm talking about, El Rufai here. I'm not a fan, but the SSS told us that they couldn't approve his ministerial appointment because he failed at some point. If El Rufai failed, why didn't Inaji fail? That is my question. I wish the DG of SSS was here so that I can put this question to his face. It tells you that these guys don't, I don't need to say that they are not doing anything, because looking at the security architecture of the country, it is apparent that they are only occupying offices and offices are not, doing anything tangible. It is unfortunate that the SSS of Nigeria will screen somebody, approve the person's appointment after so-called quote-unquote due diligence, only for a newspaper to come out and say this person is not fit nor proper for that office. It is a slap on the face of the Nigerian Intelligence Agency.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Now let's move on to other stories. The World Bank has said a couple of things, and Nigeria, let's say Nigeria is disagreeing, or the presidency is disagreeing. Now, this is
Presidency
the latest...
or president?
Well, presidency. The latest economic report by Nigeria's biggest multilateral lender, the World Bank, has estimated that 139 million citizens are living in poverty. And they described, the presidency has said that the figure is unrealistic and detached from the country's economic realities.
Okay.
Apparently, the president's special advisor on media and public communications, Sunday Dari, said a lot about it on X yesterday. That's why I said not the president, but the presidency. Said that the poverty figures should be properly...
Don't worry, I'll address that.
He said the figures should be properly contextualized within the limits of global poverty. He said a lot. He said the 139 million figure was derived from the global poverty line of $2.15 per person per day, which was set in 2017 using the PPP, the Purchasing Power Parity. And he said it should not be mistaken for an actual head count of poor Nigerians. He said that when converted to nominal terms, $2.15 benchmark equals about 100,000 naira per month at current exchange rates, which is well above Nigeria's new minimum wage of 70,000. So he's saying whatever applies to other people out there does not apply to us. So
can I stop you there, please? Can you tell me what you have read in the last 1 minute? Do you even understand what the guy is saying?
He's saying that the World Bank is wrong.
How? Can you explain that?
He's saying that their modalities are not
But the
correct.
guy is only saying gibberish things. Let's go into it. I would not dignify Sunday Dare with a response. There is someone like him who is also, in my opinion, a lapdog of the president, and his name is Joe Ibokwe. This guy said something. He said that if not for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it would most certainly have been in Anambra State, either selling palm wine or killing lizards for herbalists for them to use in their concoctions. And that is what Joe Ibokwe said. And looking at Sunday Dare too, as far as I'm concerned, he's somebody who has, attached himself to the apron of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, so he may not be able to say things the way they are. That is why I said presidency or president. These guys are just, telling the president what he wants to hear. Let's go into the reality. You said the presidency disagreed with what the World Bank said. I disagree with you too, madam. You were reading something earlier. You said 133 million Nigerians were poor in 2023. My own stats tells me that 2023, 87 million Nigerians were below the poverty benchmark. Today it is 139. It has almost doubled. I don't even believe the 139 out of 220. Are you saying just 139 million Nigerians are struggling? Almost everybody is struggling in this country right now. Let's just say that if we were 250 million, 240 million people are not finding it funny. That's the truth of the matter.
That's not official statistics.
It doesn't have to be official. It's what you and I can see on the streets. The truth of the matter is that the World Bank is only playing games with us here. They are trying to cheer the presidency or the president, as the case may be, on, so that they can continue to embark on this destructive, I don't want to call them policies, I don't want to call them reforms. I would rather say these destructive machinations that they have embarked on. If the World Bank is not saying that, your policies are making sense, the government might say, okay, let's stop this idea of no subsidy. Let's stop this idea of no serious investment in social welfare and, tangible things. But you have to say that it is working. But the biggest contradiction is that you are saying reforms are working, but more people are going into poverty. So who exactly are the reforms designed to benefit? If it's about the people, the reforms are not working. It's as clear as the light.
Maybe we still have to, wait some more.
Till everybody dies. The truth of the matter is that poverty in this country has almost doubled. From 87 million, where the current president met it, to 139. And these are official stats. It tells you clearly that as a government, you cannot run your country without subsidy. As a government, you cannot run your country without social welfare. That is what it means. That is just what it means. I have said it here abundantly, and I will continue to say it. A country that does not care about how much the people buy essential products has no business with development and can never be developed. That is just the truth of the matter. You have to look at the purchasing power of the people, then you now set the price of essential commodities below what you are giving them. If you are paying 70,000 naira and to fill a car tank is around 70,000 naira, you should know too well that that country can, I'm not cursing, but it's the truth of the matter, because nobody will be able to afford what it means to drive the country up. It is the middle class that drives the country. Wherever you go, it's the middle class that is the vehicle that takes the country forward. Now there is no middle class simply because what the people are earning is not even enough to eat. So how is the middle class going to be able to buy what manufacturers are producing? It's not going to work. So if the government is really serious, I do not blame the World Bank. When these institutions were created, Nigeria didn't even exist officially. So you will not now expect people...
They won't have a particular metrics for Nigeria.
That's not even the case, man. When the World Bank was created, Nigeria was not on the map. They created Nigeria for the sake of the colonialists. So it may not be colonialism in chains right now. It's now going to be colonialism of slavery. When I say slavery, I mean financial and economic slavery, where they will borrow us money beyond what we can, afford. And that is going to ultimately afford what we will be giving to our people in the future. Because instead of investing in infrastructure, we'll be busy paying debt. That, and the World Bank is doing a fantastic job in that regard. You need to understand that everybody is not for you. I have said it, the World Bank, the IMF, these institutions are not for Nigeria. So we should rely less on them. If the World Bank tells you go here, you need to know that going B is even a risk. Go Z, you'll be doing well in that regard. They are not for us. So let's not depend on them. But this administration has depended on them for almost everything. Remove fuel subsidy, they did it. Remove electricity subsidy, they did it. Devalue your currency, they did it. And you think you're going to handle? It's never going to happen. Never.
All right, thank you so much for that. Now, the federal government and ASU are in high stake talks, as they put it. Apparently, ASU has set a deadline of October 13 to go on strike. This is still due to the 2009 agreement, and as such, and they've said, you know what, we're going to go on strike. But the Minister of Education, who spoke in Abuja yesterday, said that they have gotten they've put together an allied general united federal government tertiary institutions negotiation committee. And according to him, the union,
is it a political party?
the remaining issues with the union will soon be resolved. He said the group is finalizing a counter offer to be presented to the union. The question really is this, because for every time as a country we have to create a committee, a subcommittee, who probably have to fly from their different states to Abuja to meet. We're spending money. Spending money to bring them there. Obviously, they're not going to pay out of their pockets and purses. Spending money to bring them there, spending money to keep them there, spending money for them to sit down for hours to talk, when the presidency probably already knows what it is willing to settle these lecturers with, or what it is not willing to settle these lecturers with, because we all know that whatever this committee, this negotiation committee, whatever they bring out is still going to be subject, right, to what, just like we had the minimum wage thing, we also had committees. And then we woke up one morning to hear that the president has said is this, and then we saw NLC singing, for the president. and
I should tell you that they spent 1 billion naira on that too, just to talk to NLC. 1 billion naira.
Oh well.
Officially.
Oh well. So, what do you think will come of this committee? Is this another tactic to stall the ASU strike? Because today is October 9, and I like ASU because they've said, look, whatever deliberations you want to make, just be quick about it and make it before 13th. Because once it's 13th, we only hear go. We won't hear come.
Not agree for anybody. The truth of the matter is that it's unfortunate that we have somebody occupying the office of the president, but in terms of working for the country, I think the office is vacant.
But is this the fault of the president? Or can we hold the Minister of Education to account?
Let me tell you something, man. We are talking about the Yar'Adua agreement. Guess what? Yar'Adua himself handled that negotiation. He was at the meeting. And that tells you that this guy is serious. If the person who's going to be the final, decision maker, he's right there with you, you know too well that you are not sending somebody to somebody. You are looking at the guy right in the face. And your negotiations are, if stamped at that particular point in time, remains the benchmark.
You can be frank with each other.
That is it. And it's not that you send him to somebody, that person will now water it down or whatever. He handled it himself, and not just alone. He did it with the Minister of Education, the Secretary of Government of the Federation, the Finance Minister, the Accountant General. You can't get better than that. But here, you have a committee. The committee will listen to ASU. The committee will take it to the Minister of Education.
Who will then take it to the president?
How serious?
And then they come back the line.
Through that line. So we're talking about 3 steps forward.
Do you think they can finish this before October 13?
I wish them good luck. But
do you think?
It doesn't look realistic, because it's the minister that is even saying that we are talking, we have started this, we have started that. ASU is not even saying that anything has started. And minding the words of our politicians, when they tell you good morning, you need to go and check outside if the day has actually broken. I will not listen to what the minister was saying. Rather, I will listen to what ASU is saying. But unfortunately, ASU is not saying anything, and that tells you a whole lot. Again, you need to know that it's not just ASU this time around. ASU, SANO, and NASU, and even the Association of Academic Technicians or something like that. So all unions manning our universities are talking about going on strike. I should also tell you that HASUP, the Union of Polytechnic Lecturers, is also saying
ASUP
that.
has also been, talking.
So if we are not very careful, we may have a total breakdown in our tertiary education in this country, which is something that I cannot even begin to imagine in my head. If we do not want that to happen, being the president is no joke. It is no joke. He should call these guys directly. Let's have a talk. And that is going to show seriousness. That is going to show commitment. I mean, people like us who have ruled out that this president cares about us may begin to have a second thought at a particular point in time, because it shows that you are committed and serious about fixing the country. That is what I want to see. If the president can do that, I promise him 2 weeks, I'll be very, very soft on him. For 2 straight weeks, I'll be very, very soft on him.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sani. We'll take a short break now on Perspectives Unlimited. When we come back, we'll talk more on the issue between the reps, Khan, and the UN Senator on Christian genocide in Nigeria. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
You looking to farm but don't know what's profitable and fast to plant? Do you want a business that brings results and income quickly? Then Cucumber is the answer. And World Radio 89.3 FM, in conjunction with Allat Farms, is here to show you how. Join our 2-day practical cucumber farming training, October 17 and 18 from 11 a.m. daily at World Radio 89.3 FM off Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For just 30,000 naira, you will learn site selection, land preparation, open field cultivation, pest control, irrigation, marketing strategies, and more. Grow smarter, harvest bigger with West Radio and Allat Farms. Register today. Send "I am interested in cucumber training" to 0813-864-2544 or 0803-509-3394. Don't wait. A healthy harvest starts with the right knowledge.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data internet service.
One data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
All right, you're welcome back. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your #1 family radio in the whole of Oyo State. We're still taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria this morning. And I still have with me Mr. Olalekan Sani, and we're taking a look at it together. He's our analyst on the show. All right, sir. I'll reel out the phone lines so that our people can join us this morning. And then I'll take some comments on Facebook and then we'll move to our next headline. Yeah, master of managing time. All right, so the studio lines are officially open. You can be a part of this conversation this morning. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333893. I'll take the numbers again. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333893. Some of the messages we have here on Facebook from Damola Okulola says, "Good morning to you in the studio. The World Bank parameter is very wrong. It seems like those close to the president are not telling him the truth. Nigerians are going through a lot of hardship under President Tinubu's regime. Should be administration. The money and the palliatives the president said he's releasing, did he monitor the distribution? Also, who are those in charge? Are they accountable? Our president should look for better ways to alleviate poverty." Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. More comments. Suleiman Sheriff says, "Good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. President Tinubu, led by the APC government, would always reject the truth. If they rejected World Bank reports on the rate of number of people living in poverty, where is their report that will counter this one?" Adeomi Kazim Adika says, "Good morning, well done from New Garage." Commenter Jola Osho Ariyo Henry says, "Good morning, watching you from Arumakide." Obanla Emmanuel says, "Well done."
What makes an administration? What makes a regime?
A regime is military.
Not necessarily. A regime is such that does not listen to the yearnings of the people. an administration is such that carries everybody along. So do you have a regime, an administration?
We have an administration because the government tells us we've done this, we've done that. They don't just
Well,
forge ahead and do everything.
I'm a fact checker. Each of the things, can you tell me that they have done?
We'll take a look at
things
more
that are
stories this
verifiable.
morning. Moving on to more stories. Now, the reps, that's the House of Representatives, and CAN are disagreeing on the rate of Christian genocide in Nigeria. The federal government has rejected it. It says it's false and baseless allegations by United States Senator Ted Cruz, who accused the Nigerian authorities of orchestrating a genocide against Christians and allowing the destruction of thousands of churches. In a statement on Wednesday, Archbishop Daniel Oko, the Nigerian Christian Association the Nigerian Christian Association, that's the president, he affirmed without hesitation that many Christian communities in parts of Nigeria, especially in the north, have suffered severe attacks, loss of life, and the destruction of places of worship. It says Nigeria's healing will not come from denial or blame, but from courage, the courage to face our collective failures, to grieve together, and to rebuild trust within our communities. Apparently, Senator Ted Cruz had said this in an interview with Fox News Digital, alleging that more than 52,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria since 2009, and over 20,000 churches and Christian schools have been destroyed. He also announced the introduction of the Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act in the U.S. Senate, a bill that was seeking sanctions on Nigerian officials that he claims are complicit in religious persecution. Now, reacting to these claims, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, dismissed the senator's assertions as misleading, exaggerated, and not reflective of reality. He said it is false to claim that over 52,000 Christians have been killed or that 20,000 churches have been burned. He said, where did they get those numbers from? He said it's completely absurd and unsupported by any credible information. And that's from the Minister of Information. Now, Mr. Sani, over the past year, at least, let me put it that, over the past year, many Nigerian missionaries have been crying out about this, saying that their people are being killed in some particular states like Kaduna and Benue. Those are the two states I know that I have read of from Christian missionaries. They say that to be a Christian in those parts, to go to church, any gathering that you can call a church, takes courage. You have to think of it and, prepare yourself for it being probably the last moment of your life. And we're in a secular society where everyone has the right to religion. Freedom of religion. You have the right to choose to be a Christian, a Muslim, a traditionalist, so whatever it is you want to be.
Or an atheist.
Or an atheist, if you don't want to believe in anything. Now, this obviously has been happening. Why do you think is the federal government just saying, as well as the House of Reps, are they just saying, it's happening, but it's not happening up to the extent to which this U.S. Senator is talking about? What is the place of CAN in protecting Christians in this community, in these communities?
Okay.
It's the Christian Association of Nigeria, and to an extent, an association or a union. Part of the reasons why you form associations in the first place is to sort of bring everybody together, and I would say fight for their rights. Fight may not be the right word, but at least look into their welfare and their rights. And if not for this U.S. Senator, who has, come out to put this in the media, because obviously you cannot ignore what the U.S. says. Why have we not been hearing on it, on such a large scale?
Thank you for bringing this up, and we still have some 15 minutes to go, because it's going to be a bit wide. To start with, when your enemies want to attack you, they do not just, make up stories. They look for your lapses and they consolidate on your lapses. I wish that Cruz was here. I would have told him to shut the hell up. These guys don't care about Nigerians. That is the truth. They are up to something that as Nigerians we need to be very, very, very careful. we need to be extremely careful.
So are you
They
saying
have
that what he has said is not happening?
No. I said something. When your enemies want to attack you, they look for your faults. Clearly, I am not proud of what successive Nigerian governments have been doing. From Buhari to Tinubu. The word is there, but the platform is not there. A bunch
Thank
of
you.
unscrupulous youth burnt a lady in Niger State, Deborah.
Yes.
That was evil.
And we have seen many after that.
I saw the images of boys holding matches and saying that, if you do this, this is going to be the end. In all seriousness, the government should have tried those people for murder. Another one happened lately in the same Niger State, where somebody was also killed. Those things are evil, and they should be treated as such. But saying that it's just a one-way traffic thing, that it's just Christians that are being killed, is totally, quote me, ridiculous. Thankfully, you are standing in front of a computer. Check. There are so very many stories that you may not even begin to remember anymore, where people will line up to pray in the mosques early in the morning or at night, and bad boys will come in and finish everybody off. When I say that, I mean shooting people to death. Not 10, not 20, not 30, not 40 people at once. I have read countless instances of such. Is the government against Muslims too? The truth of the matter is that we have an ineffective government that doesn't care about the welfare of the people. Had it been that they rose up to challenge the boys who killed that girl and the other woman, chances are very bright that nobody will try that anymore, because even if they are not going to get a conviction on your head, at least they would have, destroyed the better part of your life, maybe 10 years of a productive age. Going to court today, tomorrow, you can't be behind bars, incarceration, all of that. And in all seriousness, people moving from one mosque to the other in Sokoto, Zamfara, if the government had come out one day to say this thing is going to stop by wiping out just one of those groups, others are going to say this is exactly what they did the other time that brought them untimely death. I don't want to go into that. If you carry a broad lens to look at what is on the ground, you will realize that it's not happening in just one particular place.
So, is what you're saying is that it's not just Nigerians of one faith,
yes,
that are being targeted.
That is just the truth of the matter.
But you still agree that while Nigerians of different faiths, I mean, the common factor, the common denominator is being a Nigerian. But you still agree that Nigerians of Christian faith are being are being killed.
Anybody who contests that is a hypocrite, and I'm not a hypocrite. That is the truth.
Now the question here, because I don't want us to change the goalposts, because we're then talking about Nigerian Christians. So the question here is, let's move to the side of the can. For example, when Deborah was lynched and killed, do you feel that this association could have done
seriously,
anything?
I mean, when you read that, you could realize I gave you a look then. The truth of the matter is that CAN cannot do anything when it comes to security. What can they do?
I'm saying, couldn't they have...
They screamed, they shouted, they did everything they could do. But in terms of protecting her, how do you protect...
And ensuring that those people, are prosecuted.
CAN doesn't have the right to file prosecution case on somebody's head. It's the PPP, it's the DPP that can do that, not CAN. They did all they could. They screamed, they shouted, this is wrong, prosecute these people. But the government didn't budge. The government didn't listen. They couldn't have done anything. They couldn't have gone to court to say, okay, you cannot sue in your name when
So where does that leave us as a people if the government is not protecting its own?
It leaves us vulnerable. That's just the truth of the matter. If you want to protect yourself from somebody who has a gun, then you must have a gun. And the Nigerian law is very, very clear on possession of arms. We don't have rights to it in this country. So how do we protect ourselves in that regard? It's better for us to sing into the heads, in fact, cry into the heads of our leaders that they should do the needful. I can tell you once again, when Ted Cruz said what he said, trust me, he didn't have the interest of Nigerians at heart. Christians, Muslims, pagans, whatever. He was up to a trick. Google it. Shootings in American churches. Just Google it where you are. The list is endless. It happens almost every day. One happened just last week. In a church, people were killed. So what are we talking about? It's something that happens every... Is it normal? No. Do I support it? No. But a log cannot be your own eye and you tell another person to remove the speck in his own eye. No. It's happening there. Have they done anything about it? No. So why will you now say, oh, look down the road, it's happening there? What we are dealing with is incompetence on the part of the government. It's not that the government now sat down to say, these people must not have peace. These particular people must not have peace.
So where should the government go from here?
The government should do the needful by wiping out. I don't believe in arresting terrorists. Just take them out of the system. Exterminate them like ants. That is where I stand. And I have been saying it, you cannot, as a government, it may be tricky or difficult for you to go after each and every individual misbehaving. But if you can go after a few, these people know themselves, it's a circle of people. Once a link disappears and they know that this person did not die naturally, it's the government that killed this person because this person was misbehaving. Others are naturally going to learn from the mistake of that person. But the government is not doing that. And that is why there is problem in Nigeria. I wish the government can wake up to its responsibility. You know, the very first fundamental role of government is the safety of lives and properties. And they have failed beyond measure. You know, our people are also making a mistake. Oh, what Imbo, they are coming, they are not in Kwara. They want to take our land. If you do not get this, if you do not get your strategy of reading events likely, you are most likely going to create another problem in procuring a solution. The noise everybody's making around town is that Fulanis want to, occupy our lands, which is a very big lie. Go to Kebbi. Kebbi State is occupied majorly by Fulani people. The same thing for Sokoto. And you cannot even begin to compare what's happening in Kwara to what is happening in Kebbi. Kebbi is far worse. The senator representing Kebbi Central said yesterday that, please, my people don't even want roads right now. They don't want hospitals. They don't want schools. All they want to do is live, provide security. Are Fulanis occupying lands of Fulanis in the name of expansion again? It's not about that. It's about a jihadist campaign in West Africa. And I can tell you it's not just Nigeria. It's happening in Nigeria. It's happening in Benin Republic. It's happening in Togo. It's happening in Burkina Faso, Mali. The list is endless. If, as Southerners, all what we are going to say is that, oh, people may be dying in the north, it's not your concern. Your own concern. Trust me, that land, you will lose it at the end of the day. It's better for all of us to come together as one and confront the problem. Because if it's the case of Fulani taking our lands and occupying our lands, what is happening in Sokoto? Is Sokoto, inhabited by Igbo people? No, Fulani people. And they are losing their lands. A particular king in Emma in Karawa in Borno State cannot even stay in Nigeria anymore. He's now in Cameroon. A whole king deserted his palace everywhere. I mean, Google it, read the stories. Palaces raided in the north. Countless stories of such. But if something like that happens here, instead of saying it as a jihadist campaign, we are going to say it's Fulani. That is wrong. If we do not get the problem, if we do not understand the problem, there is no way you can provide a solution to it. So we need to sit down and understand what the problem is. If we can do that, I can assure you that...
So do you think that the government doesn't understand what the problem is?
The government understands too well.
All right, let's move on from that.
They are just incompetent. They don't care. They believe that they are safe and secure, that it's not a problem.
The studio lines are still open. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. The show ends soon, so if you want to call us, now is the time. Now, this headline says, opposition slams government as state's IGR soars by 50%. The surge in subnational revenue has drawn mixed reactions from stakeholders nationwide, including labor union leaders and opposition parties, many of whom have criticized poor revenue management and the neglect of key projects at both federal and state levels. This follows Monday's release of internally generated revenue data by the National Bureau of Statistics, showing that states' combined revenue jumped by 50% to 3.63 trillion naira in 2024, even as dependence on monthly disbursements from the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee persisted. They say 12 states recorded over 50% revenue growth, while 24 states posted less than 50%, underscoring the structural weakness of states' economy and their reliance on the FAC allocations. Now, the labor leaders, opposition parties, and civil society groups are questioning the transparency and impacts of this increase on citizens' welfare. Mr. Sani, over the past couple of months, people have actually pointed to increased FAC allocations that have come to the hands of governors and pointed out the fact that the citizens or the residents of their states are not seeing it translate. Is this true?
Is that a question for me?
Yes.
Anybody can see that. It's true. It is very true. It's not just what is coming from FAC. It's also what you guys are generating locally. I mean, there has never been a better time for Nigerian leaders, be it at the federal level or at the state level. These guys are making an insane amount of money, but nobody is seeing the money on the road, and that is where the problem lies. Go around town, look at the condition of our schools, look at the condition of our hospitals. I mean, public-funded hospitals and schools. And trust me, if you were not sick before, chances are bright that you may become sick thereafter, looking at what's on the ground. What is coming from FAC has tripled. What you guys are making locally has increased by 50%. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it. Let me tell you something. Last year, Oyo State made 65 billion naira internally. Guess what? The following year, 63.4 is going to 63.4 billion is going into renovating a house belonging to just one head.
We have to prepare for our anniversary.
Your what? The truth of the matter is that, in my own terms, it's just like everybody in Oyo State worked so that we can. 7 million people in Oyo State worked last year so that we can renovate a building belonging to just.
Well, at least we won't have to renovate it again next year.
Who told you that? If you are the bigger the the building, the expensive it may be, the higher the rate of maintenance. That's just the truth of the matter. What I'm trying to say here is that our leaders, be it governors, be it president, are grossly irresponsible. That is just the truth of the matter. There is so much money in the federal government. I mean, I was on the roads this week, and the state of, if I'm not mistaken, the Vanguard newspaper ran a big story on Monday talking about the state of federal roads in this country. Deplorable is not even a word that can quantify what we have on our roads right now. It is terrible. It is horrific. It is, in fact. And with all the money that we have, it's unfortunate. Security, you guys are not providing. Infrastructure is not there. Social welfare is not there. And you are telling us that we cannot call you thieves. If you are making so much money and there is nothing you are doing with the money, we don't even have to call you thieves. It is clear. It is as clear as the day. But like I keep saying, for the sake of the country, they still have 1.5 years to prove themselves. I just hope and pray that along the line, they are going to wake up to their responsibility. But as it is right now, for the federal and for the federal and state government, they have more money. And they have never been this ineffective, in my opinion. So they need to tell us where the money is going.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sani. As we begin to wrap up, many residents of the Abuja Municipal Area Council have rejected the enforcement of television and radio set tax by the area council authorities. They said it's untimely. They accused the government of not being sensitive to the plight of the masses. I'm aware that this, tax is actually...
Yes, it is in the Constitution.
It is in the Constitution, but...
this is not the right time you had to the burden of Nigerians. Yes, it is in the Constitution that...
many people are complaining that we already pay... They say when I bought the TV, I pay tax
VAT
on it. I pay for my electricity, which
so
is not even stable. I pay for my cable, decoder, or internet,
whichever
whichever
power
one
to watch.
So why do you want to? What exactly is this tax? Abroad, when they tax,
you can see the value of your tax.
The tax
that
is used for. But what exactly is this tax going to be used for?
Let me end this morning's talk by saying, Shefe Bawani.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Mr. Sani. Thank you to
It's always an
everyone
honor
who
to be
sent.
here.
Thank you to everyone who sent their comments. Strangely, we didn't get calls, but thank you so much to everyone. People enjoyed it too much to forget to call. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. To everyone who sent messages to us on Facebook, we appreciate you. And don't go away, because Deliri will be here any moment from now to take you through the world of sports. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola, and this is Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. Good morning to you, and God bless you.